to Power Conversations podcast by What's Your Superpower TV. This podcast features conversations of overcoming by faith and pushing through to fulfill a purpose-driven life. This podcast is hosted by CEO and best-selling author Nadia Francois. Welcome to the broadcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Power Conversations Podcast Live. Yes, we are live tonight on What's Your Superpower TV and Power Conversations. So make sure that you share this broadcast out, even if it's after the play. We love replays. So make sure that you share this out, put it on your pages, let your people know that we are live tonight. So we have an amazing guest. But before I bring her on, I do want to ask you all to make sure that you are following us on all of our social media platforms under What's Your Superpower TV, WYSP TV, and check us out on Facebook, Power Conversations Podcast, Power Conversations Magazine, and Podcast is what we are under on Facebook as well as the WYSP TV. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page. So our YouTube page is where those clips and our lives are posted every single time we go on. So make sure that you are a part of that so that you can stay up to date with what we have going on. All right, now in August, our August issue of Power Conversations magazine that was released just a couple of weeks ago, make sure that you check that out as well. We have some amazing features in there. But we featured the influential boss women of 2022, guys. We had 20 amazing women that were boldly, optimistically, strategically successful women. All right. And they were nominated by their peers, and some of them were spotlighted right here on Power Conversations Live. Tonight we have the amazing Shawn Brinkley of Boss Talk LA. Let me bring this queen on. Hey queen, how are you?
Hello. How are you? I am well, thank you.
Awesome. I'm so happy to have you here. So I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, hello out there, y'all. My name is Shawn Brinkley, and I am a licensed marriage family therapist and a transformational performance coach in Los Angeles, California, specifically in Encino, California, Los Angeles County. And I also have a podcast, and it's a visual podcast called Boss Talk. And on Boss Talk, that stands for bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. And on Boss Talk, I interview women like Nadia and those of you out there who are killing the game in the name of Jesus and just really doing life the way that it glorifies. So that's me.
Yes, awesome. Welcome. And so,
Thank
as
you.
I stated, you were recognized as one of our influential boss women of 2022. And I am sure it is for the amazing work that you do with your counseling and then with these boss women that you are talking to, spotlighting them, putting them out there. So I am sure that you have some amazing things that you want to share with us. And so I'm going to just ask you this first question, right?
Mhm.
What areas are you hoping to influence around your industry or your calling?
Wow, that's a great question. So in my practice, so I have a private practice, and I was blessed this year to be able to hire 5 therapists. And so in our offices, we are trauma recovery specialists. So we specialize in helping women and, of course, a few good men who have experienced and survived trauma. We help them to move forward in their lives by helping them to get past all those things that keep them stuck. We work a lot with PTSD. We work with anxiety and depression, particularly coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. People who never thought they would ever come to therapy have come to therapy, and
Mhm.
that's my goal. I became a therapist wanting to help erase the stigma of therapy for African American people, specifically other people of color, because it's always been sort of like a taboo subject for us.
Mhm.
But when there's a need, God puts people out there to fulfill it, and that's what I feel like doing therapy is just, God made therapists too, y'all. That's what I
Yeah.
always tell people.
Yes. Yes. And so I'm glad you touched on that, because a lot of us kingdom believers kind of shy away from therapy, or if they are, participating or have signed up for therapy, they may feel some type of way, like, oh, just judgy, right? It's like
Yeah,
someone's gonna judge them. But I strongly feel that therapy and our kingdom beliefs go hand in hand, right?
100%.
So chime in on that for me.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly why I developed that little saying, because I was getting a lot of pushback from Christian people who are believers and who kind of feel like if they go to therapy and talk to a therapist that they're kind of cheating on God or something like that. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And it's like so I'm a therapist. I pray when I have the opportunity to pray with a client. It soothes my soul. It's what I live for. I am not, as a licensed clinician, able to bring up Christianity or my faith in the beginning of a conversation with the client. But if a client calls me and says they're looking for a Christian therapist, or they're looking for a believer as their therapist, then
Right.
I'm especially excited, because we get to look at the scriptures and see what scriptures say about your life. Because sometimes what you need to work on in therapy goes hand in hand with the same things that you were working on in your Christian walk. And
Yeah.
so, what better way to do it than to be led and guided by somebody who is being led and guided by the same God that you worship? So that's how I, try to, help people understand that.
Yeah, that's a good way to do that, because yeah, and looks, we have one of our guests, our viewers, saying sometimes we feel embarrassed. Yes, we do. Thank you for joining us, Miss Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa.
Yeah, sometimes we do feel embarrassed about that. But, in my, and I know this isn't a mental health show, but because you are the guru over there, I do have to pull a little bit, because
Please.
and the also the fact that we have just been going through so much lately,
Yes.
whether it's a traumatizing situation or whether it's just elevated stress, just different things that
Mhm.
alter our mental health. So I do want to touch on that a little bit, but we
Absolutely.
definitely want to um, pull more out of you outside of your business. But yeah, how give us a few pointers on just coping with the day-to-day stressful or traumatic situations that some of us have to deal with. We
Mhm.
look at the internet and these platforms, these, you know, social media platforms, and everybody's all refreshed and looking all, it's the good stuff, right? But
Absolutely.
we as humans
Come on, come on.
know that it is not like that all the time. And
Mm-mm.
we do have some stressful situations. We do have some things that we have to come up against on a daily. And, it just gets hard. And I also wanted to touch on that because of the increased suicide rates among our young people as well. So, it's just give us a few little pointers that you as a professional recommend for us to cope with things that we deal with day to day.
Absolutely. So, especially, coming out of this pandemic, that was something that none of us had
Right.
experienced before and didn't know what to expect
Right.
or, how to deal with it. And so people started feeling things that they hadn't felt or had felt but had not acknowledged. And I think the
Mhm.
pandemic made it impossible to ignore your mess,
Yeah.
right? Because it
Yeah.
just was right in front
It
of you.
was in your face. You couldn't even go nowhere.
You look over here, there I am, oh boy, here I am, oh boy, and so I really start by telling people and helping them to be able to have the courage to acknowledge where there is an issue,
Yeah.
acknowledge that I'm feeling away. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? If you wake up in the morning and something's wrong inside your spirit, your soul is feeling kind of funny, you know trauma, emotional things, they're physical. Like
Mhm.
you literally can feel them in your body.
Yeah.
There's a book by a famous trauma specialist. His name is Bessel van der Kolk. He's
Mhm.
a Dutch man, and he wrote a book called The Body Keeps Score.
Mm.
And I have, until Oprah's book, I had not heard of a title of a book that helped address it even more,
Yeah.
because we try to put on the face and we get our makeup on and our sparkly glasses and all of that, and we're like, okay, I'm good, but your body knows the truth,
Yeah.
and at some point your body is going to tell on you, right?
Yeah.
That feeling that is a discomfort, a disconnection, a dysregulation is what we call it,
Yeah.
in your body is going to show up at work. It's going to show up in your family, in your relationships, romantic and otherwise. And so I think we have to first just take a moment and acknowledge that there's something going on with me. I ain't all the way 100,
Yeah.
right? And so when you do that, then you can start to seek help. But some of the things that you can do for yourself, I am an avid mindfulness practitioner. I went and got certified in mindfulness when I recognized that I had ADHD all day, every night. Like really. And mindfulness is paying attention to your life in a particular way in the present moment.
Mm.
Kindness and curiosity, non-judgmentally.
Mm.
And that's the thing that we don't do. When we start to feel something, then we want to judge ourselves.
Yeah.
And we are our harshest judges. And so mindfulness just allows you to be in this very moment. There's everything is well and fine as I sit in this moment for these few seconds and pay attention to your breath. Now people say that all the time, and what breathing does is it actually acts as a distractor and detractor from all the anxious feelings that we're having. It calms
Mhm.
down our nervous system.
Okay.
So it's a medical miracle just in your breath. You know what
Wow.
I mean? And so just taking time to breathe, deep breaths from your belly, make it like a balloon. So a lot of times when somebody says inhale, we go,
Right.
that's actually the opposite of what it looks like. It looks like the expansion. So when your belly goes out like a balloon, that's when you're breathing right. You're making space for the air. Think of it like that. And so as
Okay.
you're doing all of those kinds of things, you're breathing, you're taking time out, you're even guided meditation, talking to someone. And don't be afraid to pick up the phone and go to Google and find you a therapist in your area that can help you. It doesn't mean you're crazy. If
Mhm.
you don't do it, then you could get crazy.
Yeah.
That's how I think of it.
Yes, that's a good way to think of it, because people really do believe that they're crazy because they have a therapist or they may need a therapist. But listen, that keeps you from getting crazy. You heard it from right here from Miss Shawn Laree, a certified therapist, right?
That's right.
So listen, Queen, thank you so much for that. even just breathing those few breaths I've just breathed, I feel a lot better. So I
Yes.
am definitely going to take those into account. Guys, make sure you breathe, be mindful of yourself. I love that. And so, as we talk about our mental health and, the things that help us to be whole, right?
Mm.
Let's talk a little bit about this trauma that a lot of us are dealing with and how to recognize it.
Okay, yes. Well, first of all, intergenerational trauma is real. And so I want to start by saying that, because if you have an African American audience, then y'all know what I'm talking about. It's called LWB, Living While Black. And it's not just, it doesn't even have to be that something specifically happened to you out loud in present, but
Right.
it can be hearing and watching, for instance, what we all experienced with George Floyd
Mhm.
and Ahmaud Aubrey. And let's take it all the way back to that beautiful little boy, Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
Like, so we watched that first one, right? We watched
Mhm.
the situation with Trayvon Martin, and we felt the hurt, the pain in our bodies, right? In
Yeah.
our mind, in our spirit. And then we watched George Zimmerman not be prosecuted,
Right.
right? We watched him continue to do other things even since then. And he's slippery, y'all. Nothing happens. So then that begins to make us feel unjustified.
Mhm.
And when you feel unjustified, your soul is not sitting well. And so then we pick up the newspaper and we read again about Sandra Bland,
Mhm.
about Breonna Taylor. It just keeps coming
It
at
keeps
you.
going. Yeah.
And that is, it's vicarious trauma,
Mhm.
but it is a perfect storm for PTSD.
Mhm.
And, intergenerational trauma is being looked at now as a real thing.
Yeah.
you know, um, Post-slavery syndrome that Dr. Joy DeGruy penned that. And that's about like the fact that we have lived in years and years and years of oppression,
Mhm.
and that it impacts you. And African Americans, yes, other people, other races of people, other ethnicities have experienced trauma.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference, though, in the trauma that we face as Black people. There's been
Mhm.
no apology. You don't even know the power of apology,
Mhm.
because that's recognition, that's acknowledgement, that is saying, I see you.
Yeah.
Nobody has seen us in our trauma,
Yeah.
right? And so there's no restitution. Other races of people can fly under the radar. We can't. We're melanated. And so no matter what, we are Black all day, every day.
Mhm.
And there are stigmas that people have created that go with that. And so we can be walking in our loveliness, in our calm, in our kingdom life, but
Yeah.
still be impacted by people who, just because of the way that we look, feel and think certain things about us.
Mhm.
And having to live that every day, being on a job where implicit bias is real,
Yeah.
dealing with that every single day, once a week is too much. So when that's happening, it just keeps piling and piling and piling. And if you've ever played Jenga, you know how you keep piling and you pull out a thing. So yeah, you get a little bit of relief. You pull
Yeah.
out the thing, and then but you put it somewhere else.
Put it right back on top.
Yes, you do. And then you do it again
Yeah.
and again and again. And what happens eventually? The tower falls over.
False.
And
Yeah.
that is what trauma looks like, intergenerational trauma. That's what that looks like. Oh,
Wow.
I like that. A game of Jenga. Okay.
Yes, that was really good. I was just about to say that was a good analogy. It was. And just to, you know, curve that around, I watched The Butler for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
For the first time like Sunday. When
Wow.
I say I felt traumatized after watching that movie. I am not gonna lie. I cried so much. And it's just not because I have never seen a
Hmm.
black movie or any, because as a mother of four black boys,
What?
men, it hit home for me.
Yeah.
Of course, we know that we want to protect our people. We want to, our family, and we want them to thrive and grow to be successful citizens, right? But that movie brought so much to me, like what we are truly facing in this America.
Yes. Absolutely.
And it just, so that kind of brought it all home, even with what you just talked about. So
Hmm.
thank you for that, because, it was just, it was breathtaking just to even, and like I said, I've watched, all of the good ones. I missed that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, right, right. There's only so much time in a day,
Yeah, and
in a
I
month
was
and a
like,
week.
let me see what this is about,
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember it was around Obama and all that. So let me see what's going on. Girl. But it
Yes.
was a really good movie, needless to say.
It was. It
And
really
it brought a
was.
lot of light to our situation, really, in this century, right? So, with that being said, y'all, we got to take care of us. We have to take care of this.
Yes. Yeah.
We have to take care of this, our hearts, our minds, our souls, our
Yes.
people, and we have to protect our peace. And so I thank you so much, Miss Shawn Larray, for even attacking this subject here today. But let's move forward. Let's talk about what you are doing to impact your community. Tell us, what impact are you trying to make in your industry and with your audience?
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And if I could just shout out Coffee Conversations with Sandy. Hey, girl.
Yes. Hey, Miss Sandy.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Miss Sandy. Miss Sandy and I have never met face to face. Neither
Really?
have you and I, right?
Right,
And
right.
so let's talk about the gift that the virtual world gave us, though.
Yeah,
Really, in the middle
yeah,
of the pandemic, we have to pull on things that bring us joy, or that
yeah,
have been like a silver lining in all the darkness, right? So
yeah.
that's one. I have friends, my Mississippi sisters, all my Southern girls, you in
Yes.
Louisiana, like this little Northerner loves y'all.
We
Or
love
West,
you
I
too.
guess I'm a Westerner at this point, right? But I think for I am I'm very active. One of the things that I'm an advocate for, of course, is Black women, and so I have had the distinct pleasure of being the president of the Black Women's Network now for, gosh, I think it's 4 years, and if they reelect me, in September it'll be 5. So,
All right, good.
but we kind of look at it as though there were almost 3 years that I didn't really get to do my thing because we were in the middle of the pandemic. But
Yeah,
even that, we went virtual, and that has allowed us to bring women from all over the United States, and even a few times we've had people come on from other countries. So it's been amazing.
yeah,
Sandy's been on.
yeah,
So there's that. So what we do is we help business women, and well, the way that we say it is that we are about the business of helping women who are the business owners and professionals, C-suite executives, or the woman who is in the business of living her best life. So
yes,
we offer empowering meetings and empowering speakers to help us to know how to be know what to do and how to live our best lives. We help business owners with learning how to start up their business, run their business, find funding for their business, just strategizing and all of that kind of thing. So it's really just an uplifting organization, and I'm excited to say that we're going on our 44th year. It
yay.
was founded in 1979. I think I was 19
My
years old.
year. That's the year
That
I was born.
you were born. You even look like my little sister a little bit, and
Really?
that's her year of birth.
Okay.
You do. I was looking, I was like, could we be family. But just to say that the organizing founder of the Black Women's Network was an amazing woman, but her name was Marva Smith Battle Bay. And she was a mover and a shaker in California and across the country. She knew the best of the best in, we call it edutainment, because she was very, very much involved in educating people, not just academically, but also through business. She founded the Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corporation, where they give classes teaching you how to start a business. And they're right in the middle of South LA, which is amazing. And so she knew all of the entertainers, she knew all of the best speakers, the best business women, and she brought them all together, specifically in California first. And then we started bringing women to the stage because they started an annual breakfast. And so that breakfast then brings all the women come to the yard, and we've had speakers from Iyanla Van Zandt, gosh, let me think here. Dr. Tama Bryant, if you all know her from the internet and now television. Let's see, gosh, I can't, Kim Coles. I mean, we've just had everybody that you can think of pretty much has graced our stage, and it's been amazing. Ariva Martin, one of my favorites. She's my girl crush. And, but, she's a really boss sister, and I love the fact that she advocates for autism and mental health and, just women and children, and it's amazing. So that's part of what I do. I also am an advocate against human sex trafficking. So I'm a part of an organization called 1LA, and we educate people on human sex trafficking, and then we strategize ways to dismantle it. So we have done walks, to make people aware. We have gone and actually, disrupted girls that were actually on the street. We have brought on speakers, former survivors, to have them speak to communities and help them to understand what it is. And the most exciting thing is I've had the pleasure and the gift of being able to speak twice at a church to their congregation to let them know about human sex trafficking and what it looks like and what the role of a Christian is, and how as Christian women and men we can help with this, because it is enslavement, and we no more.
Yeah, and it's happening everywhere.
It absolutely is. Yeah, and I'm so glad you said that, because even before becoming a therapist and before being hired by this group home, I had no idea that human sex trafficking was real in these here United States. Yeah. And so baptism by fire, I got a young girl that came into the group home, and I was in charge of the 6-bed group home as well as their therapist there. And she'd been trafficked.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, what? And, so just that's how I was introduced to it and learned that it was real. And then we got the training, after the fact. And so there are a lot of organizations that are doing it, because we used to think that it's something that happens overseas. It happens over there, but it happens right here. Yeah. And I've been able to speak to therapist organizations in predominantly Caucasian areas to make them aware that it's not just little Black girls, little Spanish or Latino girls. It is everywhere. I pointed out the corners in this hood where it happens. And so it was really empowering to hear them say, oh my gosh, I think I had a girl, but I didn't know what I was looking at.
Wow.
And so that's been great. One last thing is I also created a presentation called What Every Therapist Needs to Know About Black Folks and Other People of Color.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for my therapist organization, which I'm the first Black person on the board.
Okay.
And thank you. Yes, San Fernando Valley Camp, shout out, California Association of Marriage Family Therapists. And I've been asked to do it at other places. So I've done it in San Diego. I'm doing it in the Inland Empire, which is San Bernardino County here in Southern California. And I'm going up north in 2023 to do a 6-hour training for another therapist organization in Santa Rosa. And so I'm just blessed and excited to be able to do that because I'm glad somebody's asking for it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because I have to
absolutely.
tell you, these are predominantly white organizations who are aware that they need to know what this is all about. So it's taking allyship to the whole next level, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yes, amazing, amazing. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
what you are doing. Thank you for that impact that you are bringing for not just, Black therapists, but our Black women, the human trafficking advocacy, all of that. Thank you for that
Thank
because,
you.
we have to be represented in some type of way. And then the fact that, as both of us stated, a lot of people don't realize that this stuff is happening right where you are.
Yes,
And
indeed.
so I want all of our viewers, all of our listeners, our full audience to make sure that if you cannot connect with Miss Shawn Larray, that you connect with someone locally in your area.
Mm,
Find out more information about human trafficking, even to your therapy side. If you need help, get the help.
yeah.
If you can't reach Miss Shawn, reach someone that is close to you. Reach someone, as she stated, go online and Google you someone. Don't take all
Yes.
of this on by yourself. All right. So I wanted to throw that disclaimer out there because our people need help these days. Well, we've been needing help, but
Yes.
now that we have this amazing platform of virtual, we can
Yes.
continue to spread the word and get it through a little bit faster. So
Absolutely.
I want to absolutely thank you one more time because, you know, I came on here thinking I'm just about to learn about this wonderful show host and therapist, and you have brought so much more than that. Thank you,
Oh,
Queen.
thank
Now
you.
I really know why you are an influential boss woman of 2022.
Thank you so much. I have to tell you, I'm really honored to have this distinction. I really have to tell you, I was shocked when I got the email, and I was like, well, how did this happen? So it was a really beautiful surprise, and I thank you for doing what you're doing in this way, Nadia Francois, because it's so important that we do feel that recognition and acknowledgement, because we all work so hard, and
Yes.
we're doing what we're doing, and we do it, sometimes we feel like it's thanklessly. So I just really appreciate you for creating this honor for us. I really thank you.
You're very welcome. And that's my mission. Um, you may not know my story, but I am an only child from here in Louisiana. I have four sons that I raised on my own
Oh,
for the past 16 years. My baby boy is about to be 16 tomorrow.
what?
And just as you stated, we are so, I'm not going to say we are underappreciated, but sometimes we don't feel it, and it's not verbally stated or,
Mhm.
put out there. And everybody needs to feel that love sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
And so from woman to woman, that is my mission, is to make every woman feel good. Of course, I'm a hairstylist, a beauty connoisseur. So
Ah!
just making people feel good about themselves is you
Mhm.
know, one of my great uh things I love to do, and making sure that our women know that you are important, you are beautiful, you are valued, and
Yes.
what you are doing matters. Because a lot of times, like you stated, we just feel like we're putting so much. Is it falling on deaf ears? Is anyone listening? Does anyone care?
Yeah.
But we know they do. But hey, when we can get in a magazine and
Yeah.
floss our promo graphic and do our interviews, it makes it so much better and so much easier to keep going,
Mhm.
right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
yes,
Absolutely.
my influential boss women, and I thank you once again for even accepting the honor, because we did have some women was like, I don't want to do it.
Okay, what?
Well, sis, hey, I tried. Thank
Yeah.
you for even
Okay.
responding.
You might
But
want to send them to me.
yes, like come on now, you don't want to be
Right.
recognized, right?
Yes, indeed.
So yes, yes, yes. Well, I am not going to hold you too much longer. I do want you to go ahead and give us your final thoughts, and then we'll get your contact info.
Absolutely. Well, I think my final thoughts would be just to really go back to what you started out with. It's so important to take care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen out there, because if you don't, you can't do the things that you've been God given, your God given and God driven purpose. And so even I, who I have more energy than most 62-year-old women on the planet, I got to tell you that.
Come on.
But that's ADHD. That's my superpower. And but even that, I do find the time to just be. And so I just invite you out there to just be. Sometimes that's just all you need to do is just be.
Yeah.
And that's always enough.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Now, tell us, how do we connect with you? Also, mention if you accept clients that are out of state, or all your good details.
Okay. So I'm on Instagram. I've been a little bit quiet. I'm getting ready to get noisy again. So please do join me on Instagram. I am at Living Loved, Loved Healing, at Living Loved Healing. Um, and let's see, I have Facebook. That's also my Facebook handle, and also my personal Facebook, which I don't mind if y'all join that too. It's just a lot of fun on there.
Yeah.
That's Shawn Brinkley. My last name is Brinkley, just like Brinkley. I'll give you my website. My website is so for therapy, if you're in the state of California, it's livinglovedhealing.org. Livinglovedhealing.org. And then my coaching website, if you're out of state, is livinglovecoaching.com. And I would just say Living Loved. So my my business is living loved pathways to holistic healing. And I know that that is very long, but I could not leave out any single word because it just said what I wanted to do as a therapist. I have recently had the pleasure, the gift of incorporating. And so because I am a licensed person, my corporation has to be my name. So it's Shawn Brinkley, licensed marriage family therapy, a professional corporation, doing business as Living Love Pathways to Holistic Healing. So,
You definitely could not .com that.
no, you cannot. You absolutely cannot. So, but we're really excited about that. If I could just say one more thing.
Go ahead.
So Nadia, you may remember this because we did get the opportunity to interview at one of the conferences a long while back, and
Yeah.
in February of 2021, I lost my dear sweet husband
Oh,
to COVID.
wow.
And it's been a journey, y'all. But I've been able to kind of honor him in many ways. So I was invited to do a TEDx talk, and it's called "When the Fairy Tale Fades."
Wow.
So if you want to see that, if you go to YouTube and then go to TEDx, put in TEDx talks and my name, Shawn Brinkley, and you will find it. I got on a red and black suit. And then so that was a blessing because I got to tell the story of us. And then just about a week ago, or a little less than a week ago, um, I filed my nonprofit, which is the William Joseph Brinkley Center for Cultural Affirmation. And with that, I just want to help people of color, Black folks, affirm who we are. And so that's what my husband was all about. He affirmed me
Wow.
every single minute of our marriage. And I'm so grateful to have had him. And so I live my life to honor him in this day. So I just wanted to say that. And last, but entirely not least, I have a podcast too, and
Yes.
it's called Talk coincidentally enough, got incidentally enough. It's called Boss Talk. That's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. And we go live at 6 o'clock every Wednesday. So when you finish watching Power Conversations, flip on over to Boss Talk LA, and that's
Yes.
where you will find me.
Love
And
it.
also on the Facebook channel too, the Living Loved Healing Facebook. It's also there. So
Awesome.
thank you.
You are very welcome, Queen. I added most of your links. I think I got them. Livinglovedhealing.org, livinglovehealing. No, livinglovedcoaching.com, the TEDx talks on YouTube, and Facebook, Living Love Healing, and Instagram, Living Love Healing. So all
That's
of
it.
the links are in the comments. Y'all go, go, go. Follow this queen, get some amazing information, take in some of this great stuff that she's doing. Don't forget to follow her on Boss Talks LA. I hope that I am getting over there to get an interview soon.
Yes,
So
I
I
was just going to
definitely will
say
be in
we
your
must
inbox.
reciprocate. Yes. Can I put the link for tonight's show in the
Yeah,
chat? Let me see
certainly.
if I can grab it real quick. Uh-huh. Okay, here it is. Okay. Let's see. Oh, how do I comment? Let me see. Oh, I don't know how to comment. I have to give it to you and you put it up. I put it in
You
the
can put
private
it in
chat.
the chat. Yeah, I think you may have to go to the
Okay, I put it in the private chat.
okay, I'll go ahead and paste it in there.
Thank you.
Yes, guys,
Yes,
make
and
sure.
we'll definitely have to do some more talking because I found out that our family is actually from somewhere in Louisiana.
Okay.
We thought it was Columbus, Georgia, but we found out that no, it actually started in Louisiana. So we better talk about that.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes.
my husband's family is in Louisiana, in Shreveport.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Really? That's
So
not
I
too
have
far from
yeah,
me. A few hours away.
yes, yes. Thank
Definitely.
you.
Well, thank you, Queen, so much once again for joining us, gracing us with your amazing presence tonight, bringing all of this knowledge and love that you have brought here today. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure you reach out to this Queen, connect with her, take in this information, guys. We are pushing forward, we are moving forward. So make sure that you are a part of that train. All right.
All right.
Listen, this has been another amazing episode of Power Conversations Podcast Live. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Live
You're
love, y'all.
welcome.